Welcome back to From the Shed End. I hope you're all doing well. I know Chelsea fans are doing well. We've just watched our team win 3-0. Like we actually won 3-0 and played amazing football. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the videos. Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to smash that Linktree link as well. That will also take you to the podcast episodes and the social accounts as well. Now, where do I start? Let's start with the lineup because obviously there wasn't much from the discussion that me and Theo had yesterday on the podcast around maybe the defense line, who'd start at right back. We knew that the goalkeeper was going to be Sanchez, Cucurella was going to be at left back. I think Theo had Tossin and Colwell as his centre backs, which was the correct lineup. We knew that Caicedo and Enzo were going to be in the two in midfield. We knew Palmer would potentially be in the 10 with Madueke on the right, and then I think I went for Sancho. I think Theo potentially went for Christopher Nkunku on the left. But between the two of us, we got there. We got the lineup spot on. But I thought we started the game really well. I thought we started the game really, really well. And there's only one place we can really start. And I have to hold my hands up because I was very, very critical, and I have been very critical of Nicholas Jackson. He's been one of those players for me that is very hard to watch and has been very frustrating at times. I know his goal record looks and is very good for his first season that he had when he first joined Chelsea. I think he's now 3 and 5 goals. I think 2 assists maybe so far this season. He looks like he's. The thing with Nicholas Jackson is he seems to play better under pressure. And by that, I mean by pressure from, criticism by pundits, criticism by the fans. And, one of the things that I have to remember, and, gracefully, I'll eat my humble pie today on this video, is that he is still young. He's still a player that is coming through and learning his role at Chelsea. He's still a relatively young player in sense of his career. So he's got a lot. And obviously the added pressure of being the main striker at a club like Chelsea is going to be astronomical, the pressure in terms of what is expected of him. So maybe I am a bit harsh with him. What I do want to see from Nicholas Jackson, and I hope we get to see it, is the consistency, because I think that's all Chelsea fans want, is a bit of consistency, a bit of, doing what he done today on a lot more, more frequent basis, because, he's done everything perfect. The first goal was brilliant in terms of the quick free kick, and then being able to utilize that left side of the pitch, ran into a lot of space, and to be able to beat Areola at that where he was as well, it was just a really good goal, really good goal. Last season he doesn't have the confidence to put that in the bottom near post of the goalkeeper. He tries to spray it across goal and it goes wide. And I thought he done exactly what he needed to do in that game. And he was also bullying those defenders even before the goal. He was getting them a lot of space. West Ham decided that they wanted to play a high line, which clearly wasn't going to work for them. And obviously you could see the manager was getting frustrated with that throughout the game. But, that high line was perfect for Nicholas Jackson, because he had loads of space to run into. He was able to at some points deliver balls into the box. But for that first goal, even to have the intelligence, I suppose, to be able to get that ball off the quick free kick. I think it was Sancho with the assist again. 2-2 now for Sancho. To get that assist, and then to get the ball into Jackson. For Jackson still has a lot to do in that first goal. To get it in that near post. We have to say the goalkeeper's got to do better there. He does have to save it. Areola should be saving that near post. I personally think he felt like he needed to guard the near post, but also was hesitant on leaving the space to his left as well. So, goalkeeper for me should be saving that. Megs through the legs is not for me. Is not the one that you want to be seeing from any goalkeeper. Obviously good for us, but in terms of the second goal, you go on, you see, we get that first goal, and you start thinking about the doubt that might creep in. If West Ham get a goal, or if we don't score that second goal for the next 45 minutes or whatever, 60 minutes into the game. But it became, very well, really worked again. Beautiful bit of football in the midfield between, I think, Enzo, Caicedo, the weight on the ball from Caicedo to just split that defence open, through ball. Nicholas Jackson again done really well. ran onto his last defender. Again, lots of space to run into. And these are the things that we want to see from Jackson a lot more. We want to see him being able to run into that space ahead of him and use it well. He looked like he was, again, last season, he would potentially would have missed that shot. He would have been either off target, skied, over the bar. He would have, he wouldn't have scored it, I'm pretty sure. So for him to have the confidence to use the outside of his boot as well and just, put his foot through it, it's a brilliant goal. And, someone that we're going to heavily rely on this season. I think he's going to be one of those players. Obviously, we missed out on key strikers in the summer. Maresca seems to be keen on him. As I said yesterday in the podcast, Maresca seems keen to make him the target man, to make him our number 9. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Nicholas Jackson, but he has to do it on a consistent basis. I love the fact that he's played well against Wolves. He played well against Bournemouth. But we need to see a lot more of that as well going forward from him in terms of what we know he can produce now. We've seen it. We know there's a player in there. Today was how Chelsea should play on a consistent basis. And I think that's all we want from the club, from the players. So I was impressed. I was impressed with with the back line in terms of Cucurella. I thought, looked really comfortable, dropped into that midfield when he got the opportunity to, sort of being inverted as the fullback. And that worked, out of possession. We was able to attack with numbers, and then we hold our shape, go back to a back 4 when we didn't have the ball, and West Ham were on the counter attack or on the attack. So that seemed to work for us. And I was really impressed with Cucurella. I was impressed with Fofana, with Colwell and Tosin as our centre backs. Really good partnership. I'm starting to now think a day or two that we need to go forward with, because Tosin looks really comfortable on the ball. Colwell is now becoming in. It feels like he's coming into himself in terms of, understanding the role that he's got to play, not just as a centre back, but as a leader, at that back, and sort of being able to command things from the back, be vocal at the back, organise things from the back. Colwell seems like he's taking that mantle on, and it looks like it's going to work for him. Now, Wesley Fofana, personally for me, I would have had Renato Vega at left back and Mark Cucurella as a right back ahead of kickoff, but Fofana for me struggled slightly. Now, it's not his natural position, so you can't really criticise someone that's playing out of position, and they're going to make mistakes. And for me, West Ham should have had a penalty. I did think that the pull on Somerville for me was a penalty, because you can't hold on to a player. He's already beat you. He's beat Fofana for pace. He drops the shoulder. He's through on goal. Fofana, very, very lucky. Sometimes we moan about VAR and officials, but that was one for me personally today that went for us, because to me, that's a penalty all day. Whether it starts outside the box, it ends up in the penalty box. It's a penalty. But, we take them. We've had things go against us for VAR before, so we'll take that. But for Fofana, for me, looking at that right back position just didn't look comfortable. And this goes back to the discussion around, the Reece James, Malo Gusto conversation about, can we keep both of them fit enough for this season? Because it's one area that you look at and there isn't anyone that can fill that void when either Gusto or James isn't fit. And, Dazazi came on, he tried to do a job there. Again, not very comfortable, doesn't get forward enough. So yeah, we'll have to see. Me personally, I would like to see someone come in the summer. I don't think we'll get someone in the winter window, but definitely in the summer, we have to address that, because I think that's where we lacked a lot of that creativity going down. A lot of the creativity for me today was down the left side in terms of, Sancho, then when Pedro Neto came on as well. A lot of that was down the left side. We missed a lot of that down the right side. And a lot of people were quite shocked when Sancho came off. And they said it should have been Madueke. And I sort of, I get that. But at the same time, I can't blame Madueke for not really having as much of an effect on the game as he probably should have, because it just wasn't happening down the right side. You got Fofana who's trying to get forward, but then he's also caught out of position when West Ham counter. And then again with Dazazi, very much the same. So, it wasn't ideal down that right side, but there was still lots of pluses and positives to take from there. Another clean sheet, back-to-back clean sheets is something that we can now build on, step forward on as well. So I was really impressed with the way that we were playing, controlling the game, controlling the tempo, fizzing balls through, using the flanks. Nicholas Jackson, as I said, was amazing. One key thing as well, normally, we come out the second half, which we've seen a lot last season, especially under Pochettino, was, we come out and we almost, we could go 2-0 up in the first half, but then we come out that second half and we allow the teams to come back into it. We allow, West Ham to come back and score 2 goals and get a draw, maybe even get 3 goals and get 3 points. So I was really impressed when we came out and we didn't stop. We didn't take our foot off the gas. It was just literally carry on as we were before, and Cole Palmer, I mean, for someone who was very ineffective in that first half or wasn't as effective as he could have been, to come out, 2 minutes after the kickoff and score the goal that he did, a lovely assist by Nicholas Jackson as well, tells us that we have got a player on our hands. We've got someone that we need to wrap in cotton wool because he's such a good player, left, right foot, anything, he can do. And he reminds me, he's not on the same level as Erling Haaland. I don't mean it in this way, but for someone who doesn't always have to be impacting the game all the time in a game, but give him an opportunity, he's gonna score it. I know he had the one in the first half where he scuffed it. He didn't really even get it on target, but you see some of the goals he's scoring. I mean, the goal that got him goal of the month last month was amazing, and even today, the angle, the accuracy on goal to be able to beat the goalkeeper, we've got to keep him, because for me personally, he's one of the more key players this season for us, 100%. But I do want to talk about obviously some of the other moments in the game. So for me personally, I think the substitutions, Maresca got them right today. I thought they were key in terms of what we expected. Yeah, I thought they were key. I thought they were really good. Buddy Show coming on, Dewsbury Hall, Zazie, João Felix, Pedro Neto, Christopher and Kunku all got some minutes today as well. And obviously we do have that game midweek against Barrow, which we'll talk about later next week. But I just think, the subs were perfect. It's perfectly timed, managed them well in terms of tactically getting things right. And we just looked really comfortable. I didn't really feel threatened by West Ham. And, last season, as I said, that would have been a concern, I think, for Chelsea fans, with that they would come back into the game. We would allow them to press us and take over control of the game. And we never done that today. Even at 3-0, we still looked very comfortable. The substitutions came in and still made their impact. As I said, Zazie, Felix, Neto, and then obviously Badiashile about 84 minutes in. We looked comfortable. We looked really, really comfortable. Really, really impressed with how we kicked on. And as I said, we just looked like how Chelsea should be playing, who've spent so much money that we spent. This is how we should be playing every single game, because this is what we expect from the club and from the team and from the players. So I think obviously it's a bit unfortunate we've got this League Cup game. And, I'm sure we'll see a lot of changes in between who started today and who will start in the week. But we do have the game momentum, can keep it going. Obviously before I'm recording this, the 3 p.m.s have kicked off now, but before that we were second in the league. So, we're still going to be there or thereabouts, regardless of the score lines today and tomorrow. But we have to continue with this. We have to continue now, because the fans are brought in. The players look like they're buying into Maresca. Maresca's installing what he wants to do with this team, and everybody's buying into it. One other key thing, there's been a lot of talk recently about Egbali and Bowley bumping heads, and they were both at the ground today. Whether that's a bit of collateral damage in terms of trying to save a bit of face and show that there is a bit of unity between the ownership, or whether it's just a case of a lot of the stories that have been churned out the last couple of weeks are actually rubbish. And they are actually on the same page, and they actually do want to drive the club forward. But I think Maresca, like I said a couple of weeks ago, has to drown out all of that anyway. When I watch him in the press conferences before the game, after the game, he almost feels like it's a bit like Jose Mourinho, a little bit, in terms of he just says it how it is, and he'll say what he wants to say. And if it's his way or no way, and if there's no one, Mudryk was on the bench today, last season, I'm pretty sure, obviously we've signed players since then, but I'm pretty sure he would have got a run out at some point by now in a game. Again, be interesting if he starts against Barrow. But I do look at Maresca and I think I can see what you're trying to do here. I can see it on the pitch. I can see it with the players. You see clips of them at Cobham and they look happy. This is something we've been crying out for at Chelsea, and I think we have to continue it now. We have to continue. We're not going to win and play every game like that. We're not going to play and smash teams 3-0 and be comfortable doing it every game. You go back to Bournemouth last weekend, but when we can play that, if we can play like that more than we don't play like that, we should not have a problem getting into European football next season, and even maybe finishing this season with a domestic cup or something along those lines. But as I said at the start of this, we need to see a lot more from Nicholas Jackson. I think Cole Palmer, as I said, is going to be so key in this in our games going forward. We've got a really good run of fixtures coming up over the next couple of weeks before the next international break. So it'd be interesting to know your thoughts about how many points you think we're going to collect, how many wins can we get from those fixtures. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the video. Hit that Linktree link in the description as well. And until next time, we'll be back very soon. Thank you very much for watching.